I hope all of you are doing really well. And today it is time for a front lever session. And there's a few just insights I want to share with you guys when it comes to my front lever journey, especially now after my lower back injury. And it's the fact that I am really unproportional when it comes to strength. So my lower back is really weak compared to the rest of my body. And in that sense, like the lats and the scapular strength and grip strength, all of those in general. But my lower back, I just haven't focused on it in the last couple of almost 2 years now, I think. And here's the thing as well, like when people ask me as a beginner what you should train, I always tell them to incorporate lower back and core strength early on in your journey. And one major reason is because when you're doing progressions like the tuck front lever, for example, the core is not connected that much. So when you're then moving on, getting stronger in tuck, and then you're moving on to harder variations like half lay or advanced tuck, you have not been used to activating your core, and lower back as well is greatly involved. And that's why I always tell people start early on, because otherwise you won't be ready for the harder progressions. Even if you get really strong in tuck, the core is going to be lacking towards the other things. And then when I started training harder skills, when I actually achieved the full planche, I achieved the full front lever, I just focused so much on it that I forgot about specifically training the lower back. Even though in my head I know that I need to do it, because I'm strengthening my lats, I'm adding weighted pull-ups, I'm doing specific exercises to strengthen the scapula as well, the retraction, all of those things, but I just don't put that same focus on my lower back. So it's not always going to be something good with shitty stuff happening like the injury, but as long as you learn from it, it does have a purpose. So for me, it's sort of a heads up just to actually get my shit together with my lower back as well. So I will be adding a lot more strengthening exercises. Even when I feel like the injury is fully recovered and everything is over, I will still continue to add it, because I'm doing it with all other muscle groups that are involved in my front lever. So why shouldn't I? And that's just something I want to share. So have it in mind that even when you're training on the higher level, not only as a beginner, you should target muscles that are involved, but higher end as well. When you're starting to get your holds pretty solid and all of those things, keep to the foundation that you should strengthen everything, because at the end of the day, our weakest link is going to be affecting how long can we actually hold. And the thing with the lower back and core strength in general as well is that even if you don't think that you're putting that much focus on it, it is involved in everything. Like even if you're doing planche and front lever training, oops, that was my phone. Even if you're doing planche and front lever training, you're always incorporating the core. So at one point you are training it a lot, or at least using it a lot, so you need it to be ready for that. You need it to be really strong. And yeah, I just want to share that from now on I'm gonna really put my focus there as well. And the most important thing when it comes to injuries is just to learn from it. Not be like, oh, I'm so unlucky, or I don't know why the universe is going up against me. No, it's more like you did something that you could probably have changed, and you need to find out the core reason to why it happened. And if that's the case, then you're gonna go out of there with more knowledge than you had before, way more wiser, and probably not gonna do the same mistake again. If you do the same mistake again, that's more towards the stupidity. But as long as you change your behavior, the outcome is gonna change as well. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the gym for some front lever training, still keeping it pretty low intensity and incorporating some more lower back exercises. Let's get started. I am gonna start off with some advanced tuck front lever pull-ups. To get that, I also now really enjoy to have the dynamic parts, not only training holds, especially for the recovery part, get some increased blood flow. Then after, I would do some half lay holds, and that is gonna be 3 sets, because I did do it in 2 days ago, just did a small attempt to see how it felt, and I feel no pain. So I think half lay is a pretty solid thing to do right now. And then next week, hopefully I'll be back with the full front lever holds, but with some resistance band to start off with. So that's the plan. And then after that, I will do the always forget the name, Romanian deadlifts for the lower back strength, and then I'm gonna end it with some EMOM pull-ups. And I also brought a weight vest, which I haven't used in a while, but now was a perfect setup because I don't want to have the weight or the dip belt, since it's putting that extra pressure on the lower back. And I now, in the beginning at least, just want to have nothing on lower back and focus just on everything around it, and then of course strengthen it, but not just putting this unnecessary load on it. So weight vest is gonna be perfect. Let's start off. 3 sets, advanced tuck front lever pull-ups. Ten pretty solid reps. This is one of those exercises though that I can actually just push it. Like even if I don't get full range of motion to the touch, doing these extra reps here just allows me to go pretty much to failure and still gonna get a lot from it, since it's now like doable and I'm at the higher range. If I were to do pull-ups and I'm only able to like 2 of them, and then the 2 second ones is like not even 90 degree, then I probably would skip it. But when it's at this point where I'm still pretty close to it, I might just push it. So let's see, probably 12 for the second set, and starting off, it's never the best set, so I think 12 is doable, and probably also for the last one. And believe me when I say this, the only thing I want to do right now is just literally send it with front lever, one arm handstand, all of those things. But I know that I'd rather just make it take a bit longer time and then guarantee that I won't get it back than to pursue something too fast and then just hit or get hit again. Because what happened before was, I told you guys my injury was getting better, but then I had this shooting in Germany where I literally just couldn't like hold it together. Like I was there for shooting, we had the meetup, we had everything, and I could of course say no to literally everything, but for me it's like I value that so high as well, and I value my training, so it was a really hard dilemma. But during great circumstances, I of course would have just chilled there as well, and most likely my back would be even better. But since I didn't really have the possibility, I could of course, but you know, it's a hard choice. I had to take that hit, but now that I do have some time, I really want to make it serious and get back fully recovered, no mistakes. And in the long run, in the long run, that is gonna pay off if you do it right. Not too bad. I think I skipped the first one with a touch, but then it got better. Let's do one more. Not as satisfied with the last one on this set, but it was something. 10 pretty alright ones, and then the 2 bonus ones, not the cleanest, but we're pretty good. Let's do 3 sets, half lay, just holds, and just see also how my lower back feels. At the moment, feel no pain. I do feel like it's something there, you know, when you had either like super hard training or you're a bit fatigued, so of that style, but not really this knife in the back pain, which it was in the past. So hopefully we're good. Heavier than you think. Also just has an instinct to get my legs out. I think you can see it in the first few seconds. I tried to just get legs out and I'm like, now it's halfway, I'm actually gonna perform. But it felt good, no pain at all. Just slightly heavier than I expected. But it is definitely one hell of a good exercise as well. You forget it, but if I were to choose between straddle, this one and one leg front lever, I would choose this one every single day, because the connection there is, it feels like you're doing a full one. So the transferring in muscle to mind connection is really good compared to the other ones, which is, they are still good, but it's not fully on point. Whereas this one is literally the same with your hips and core connection, which is really good. Let's do 2 more. So I did check the form and it's pretty alright to most part of it, but I think my hips are a bit too low and I do want to get my just legs slightly closer to the ground. It is just the amount that they are lifting, because in front lever I rather want to have my hips a bit too high than too low. So my knees, I'm forming this position, this is not what I want. I want to be a bit more overextended. So let's give it one more attempt, have a look, and hopefully the form is going to be better now that I think of it a bit more. Still rough, but I think it's better when it came to the form. Let's have a look. That's it. And I did check the footage and it was way better than the first one. So that is good. Still a bit too much of an angle. Now my body is pretty straight in line. It's just that my whole body is a bit angled upwards. But just to be honest, I'm still happy with that. It's the fact that mentally, these parallettes are like, they're perfect for me in height to perform it. But mentally I feel like I'm so close to the ground, even though I'm not touching it, that I to some degree tend to go a bit higher than I need to. So if I do train this a bit more often, I will of course get used to it, but it just feels like I'm so close to the ground that in general my body tilts up because it feels like I need to. Either way, let's do the last set. And 15 seconds hold was last one, which is solid. Not bad, not crazy good either, but a bit in between, that's fine. It's always harshest on the third set. But I'm happy with the fact that I feel no pain, and that's literally all the success I need. So let's move on to the Romanian deadlift, and then the EMOM for the pull-ups. Last week I did rewatch the video when I did the Romanian deadlifts, and I do go a bit too deep. The point of it right now, and the reason I'm doing it, is to strengthen my lower back. And I only want to go to the degree that my mobility allows me to. So straight legs, and I can keep the arch. At this point, I can't really go much further. And if I go deeper, it means that I will start to form a bit more of a hollow body, which is not the case and not what I want to do with this exercise. So today I'm gonna keep it slightly shorter range of motion, but pretty alright and more beneficial for the purpose of me actually training it. Targets like crazy. Not a lot of exercises I do feel this burning fatigue from, but this is one of them in a really good way. So let's do 2 more. I'm also gonna rewatch, just make sure that I just don't talk about form and then I actually don't do it. So let's have a look and do another set. I checked it and it looks pretty damn good. So let's do another one. I do take about like 2 to 3 minutes rest in between these ones. Pretty much the same for my static stuff, because I do get a bit more fatigue and I want to have peak performance throughout all the sets. So it's like this last squeeze at the part, it's almost like that's the one that feels the most. So full range, get the most out of it. Let's do one more set. Last set. I think I did cheat it slightly on the range of motion though on the last set. I could have gone a bit further down. Looks like the reps are just half of what it could be almost. So I would push it a bit more. Still not to the degree where I'm starting to pronate, but arching to the fullest limit. Yep, we're done here. Let's move on to the lovely pull-ups. And with 10 kg extra, since I did bring my weight vest. It is time for the EMOM pull-ups. And the concept of EMOM is to do a fixed amount of reps every minute. And since I'm having 10 kg right now, I'm gonna go for 8 repetitions every minute for 10 minutes. So it's gonna be a total of 80 pull-ups during these 10 minutes. It's a great way to just have really high intensity, a lot of reps, but for a short period of time. Then of course you're pretty screwed up afterwards, so you can't really do a lot. But to wrap the workout out, or wrap it up with this, it's pretty good. And of course I'm doing this now instead of my weighted, since I don't want to have too much weight on the lower back now due to the injury. But let's see if I can keep it up. It's also the first set shouldn't be too heavy, and then when you're getting up to like 5-6 sets, it should be a bit harsh. Let's get it. Need to have something better to stand on. It's rough, and getting like high reps with good speed is pretty hard. Also, make sure to check out the Gornation new clothing, like the tank top, sweatpants, literally everything I'm wearing right now. They had the new launch and it's actually getting sold out pretty quick. So if you want your sizes, check it out pretty quick. And for 1 week, it's gonna be like 2 days after this video is released, the discount is gonna be over as well. So check it out now before it's a bit too late. Let's do the third one. It's literally a mental barrier as well. Just because I know it's 8 reps that I'm gonna do, I always end my sort of momentum at 6. And then the 2 ones I just hustle. Whereas if I would say I would do 10 reps, most likely I would do 8 ones with pretty good speed, and then the 2 ones would still be pretty rough. So our limit is way higher than we think. It's gonna be rough. That was 4 sets and already starting to struggle a bit. That was 6, 4 more. Probably doable, but I'm gonna need the last minute or the full minute on the last set. Oh. Crazy. That took way more effort than it should. 3 more, and it's the hands I feel it mostly. It's way easier with false grip, but can't really hold it now with a hand. Two more sets. Probably gonna need to cut it down to 6. Impossible to do 8 now. You know what, fuck it, let's do it. Wow. 15 seconds to rest, that's the last one. And I can use the full minute for it. One more rep in 15 seconds. Wow. All right. There we have it, 10 minutes. And I did actually manage to do 8 reps, even though the last 2 ones was a bit like risky. Usually I would like it to be just slightly more easy, so I don't need to rest as much towards the end, but to be honest, it was still pretty decent. If you can keep it up the same amount of reps for the whole one, like you found the sweet spot. Usually when I do it, I need to cut down towards the end, just a few ones, and I don't know what's actually the best. To some degree I think just having the steady level, then pushing, going too hard in the beginning, because then you get fucked pretty quick. It's exponentially. But that was it, and pretty good to wrap it up. That is gonna be it for today's session, and it felt really good. Not that I did do anything crazy. I think the EMOM in the end, I do really need it to sort of push my limit, like with static holds when I did Maltese in the past, front lever, the top holds. It's all of these sort of exercises I really need to go beyond what I'm capable of, whereas all the sort of, let's call it rehab stuff, is not really that fun to do. It's just something I need to do, and mentally not the funniest thing, but in the end it's going to be the best and thereby mentally good, because I do them because I do feel joy from knowing I do something that's beneficial for me, if that makes sense. But EMOM, really enjoy it. Probably not going to do it crazy a lot of times when I then get back to my normal routines. I prefer training more towards the pure strength side of things, since it's going to give me more in statics than this. But to be honest, before competitions, this could be something, because every minute on the minute, it simulates more battles. Like you do your absolute all for a fixed amount of time, you rest a little bit, and then you full send again. And this increase, these sort of intervals combined with strength training can be really helpful. So it might be something I actually incorporate later on. But it's nice, experiment, and as long as I take the best from things, even though it's not the greatest of my times, I do see the best in it and what I can actually take with me from this experience. And as I mentioned last session, I am building a front lever sort of introduction for heavyweight athletes. I feel like the heavyweight area isn't something that's spoken a lot about, and I do want to share like my story and also share everything that I have taught and learned during these 7 years of my career, and give it to all the heavyweights out there, so you also feel like there is so much hope and there's so much things I want to bring to the table for you to progress as fast as possible. And this is what this introduction is going to be all about. So for anyone that's 75 kg plus, it's going to be for you. And I will leave the link up here for the wait list. It's going to be a free sort of introduction, so it's not going to cost anything, but sign up here and I will let you know as fast as possible when it's finished. And with that being said, hit like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Choo-choo!